Mark. Okay, we're gonna get started, you guys. Okay, this is interview and appointments to the Emergency Disaster Preparedness Committee. We have actually two applicants for two positions, Bill Dodge and Jen Sorensen. So if you want, if council's amenable, we could just appoint those two people rather than interviewing, if everybody's okay with that.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that,
And I just want to note there's
Yeah.
3 recommendations on this. So first you would reduce the committee because it's currently 8 members and
Right,
1
right, right.
alternate. And then you would appoint the alternate Shelley as a full member and then appoint the
Right,
2.
we just move the recommendation. Is anybody, either Bill or Jen, want to speak or no? Okay, okay. Okay, council, could I have a recommendation?
I would move the recommended action.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Thank you for your service. Okay, next is the interviews and appointments to the Housing and Human Services Committee. And we have 6 applicants and we will be appointing 2 this afternoon.
You will be appointing 6.
We have 6 applicants and appoint 2 members.
No, you'll appoint 2 to be effective immediately through next year.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
then
Yeah.
4 for 2-year terms.
So okay. Okay, so we have 6 openings. 2 are, 2 are through 2025. It's kind of weird. And then 4 for 2 terms.
Correct. So that's to keep the terms alternating.
Yeah.
Cody has mentioned that he'd like the shorter term.
Okay.
No one else has stated a preference, so that's going to be up to council who the other person is that's going to have that
Okay.
1.5 years.
Okay. All right.
Mayor, I would just suggest that, I don't know how many of the applicants are here. I don't see all of them, but if Cody wants the one, then we just have to find one other.
Right, that's
And
right.
if there's another applicant who's interested in the shorter term, we could probably just get somebody to raise their hand, or if they.
Yeah.
we
Is
can-
anybody interested in a shorter term that's applying for the committee? Alexandra? Okay. All right, very good. That was easy. Does anybody want to come and speak, or should we just go ahead and vote through, or?
Go through.
Okay. Adam?
Hello, council. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve another year for this committee. I just wanted to point out that I feel very strongly that we need more younger people even in the generation below mine, people who look like Alex and I serving on these committees and representing our town. And when we have interviews at 3 p.m., it makes it very challenging and less likely that we'll have people our age showing up and volunteering for these positions. If you look over at my seat, I have my work computer open on my chair and was planning on working through this meeting today just to maintain my spot on the committee. So would just appreciate it if in the future we try and accommodate working professionals a little more. Thanks
Got
so
it.
much.
Thank you, Adam. Anybody else? Okay, council. So we have Cody who's on the short term, and so is Alexandra. Everybody else is on for the full term.
So I would move that we appoint Cody Engel and Alexandra Yoakum to the term ending June 30th, 2025, and then appoint the remaining 4 applicants to the 2-year term that will end on June 30th, 2026.
I'll second that.
And I would also reduce
Oh.
the size of the committee from 9 members and 2 alternates to 7 members.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay, thank you for your service. Congratulations. Okay, next is interviews and appointments to the Audit Review and Investment Advisory Committee. We have 2 terms and we have 4 applicants: Steve Brown, Greg Meck, Ryan Miller, and Jeffrey Rudolph. Would you guys like to come forward and say a few things? Anybody?
council members, good afternoon, and thanks for the opportunity to speak with you. And I do want to say, I looked at my fellow applicants and I'm impressed by the background of these folks. And it's reassuring to know that the city has folks of this dimension and expression and interest to work on this. I read this opportunity, I think, in the local newspaper. I've been a resident of Laguna for 31 years, and we have a home that we put on the historic register here. My background was primarily in finance for most of my career. As of late, I was serving on the board of a publicly traded New York Stock Exchange company, independent director. Background early in education was banking, Security Pacific Bank, trained in corporate banking, moved up into the investment side of the world and formed a equities investment company, grew it, and we sold to Morgan Stanley. I became part of Morgan Stanley's global equities group. So we ran two publicly traded 40 Act groups, mutual funds, as well as separate account business, which included all the pension plans across the country, Texas Teachers, CalPERS, CalSTRS, NYSERS, and so forth. So a lot of background, which included compliance issues, and very importantly, interfacing with the consulting firms that are working with you as a client and understanding investment portfolio theory, the issues associated with the constraints of investment management, SEC audits, and so forth. So I do feel I have a good background to bring to the table, work with 10Qs, 10Ks, audited financial statements, and all the type of understanding all the requisite instruments that are in the world that you will interface with. So again, thanks for this opportunity and thank you.
Thank you. Here he comes.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Long day for you guys already. I'll keep this brief. Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, I've applied for one of the open positions on the Audit Review and Investment Advisory Committee. Since we only have a minute and more detailed information has already been sent, I'll try to keep this pretty brief. After retiring last year, I've been thinking about how best to give back. And I strongly believe my 38 years of experience in banking and capital markets is a near perfect fit for this role. As I'm sure you all know, banking is one of the most heavily regulated and audited industries. I did some math, so I'll share a little bit of that. But over my career, I've been actively involved in probably 300 audits of various types and navigated detailed annual regulatory examinations, both in banking and in capital markets. I've also served on a variety of boards and committees, attending and participating. I did this count, sadly, in well over 1,000 such meetings during my career. I was a bank president and CEO for 21 years, launched and ran a capital markets firm for 16, founded a financial technology firm, and served in a variety of other capital markets and banking roles at various organizations. I've taught hundreds of bankers about risk management and investing, managed multi-billion-dollar investment portfolios, and I have a deep understanding and experience in financial reporting, analysis, and review. I have an extensive background in auditing and accounting, along with investing, risk management, investment banking, investment brokerage, and commercial banking. I feel my experience could be beneficial to the City Council and the City of Laguna in a variety of ways that touch this committee, and I'm happily prepared to assist you if selected. Thank you for your consideration, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Miller. I'm applying to the Audit Review and Investment Oversight Committee. I believe that this committee has accomplished much over the past couple of years and can continue to play a significant role in improving the timeliness and the accuracy of our financial reporting. I'd like to be a part of the committee, and I feel that my experience will allow me to continue to make contributions to the work that needs to be done. I'm a former CPA and have spent 16 years of my career in financial and strategic planning roles, primarily in the life sciences and med device space. I've led 11 integrations, 3 divestitures, all representing revenues over about $4.5 billion, where key part of that role is standing up accounting and compliance systems. And so I have a fair amount of experience with that and would like to be able to contribute. Finally, I think looking at some of the challenges that we see in terms of our deficiencies, a lot of that comes down to process, and I'm a big believer in lean methodology. I grew up at Danaher, where lean is a way of life, and I've run countless transactional improvement processes, Kaizen events, and what have you. And I think that this is an opportunity where we could really make a contribution. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ryan.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Greg Meck. I am currently on the Investment and Audit Committee. Just by way of background real quickly, I ran Merrill Lynch's private client business in the Western United States through the great financial crisis. I currently run a multifamily office here in Newport Beach. And we manage about $12 billion in assets for the families that we serve. Being on the Investment and Audit Committee last year, in the last 2 years, actually has been a really remarkable experience for me. And I'm incredibly proud of what our committee has accomplished, especially with bringing professional money management services to the investment disciplines that the city uses. So that's been terrific. I also think that there are opportunities left to complete, especially around audit and process there. And I think our committee is working very well together, and I would love the opportunity to continue that effort. I will tell you, and sitting and speaking forth right now, you've got 3 other great candidates that are here. So happy to serve and continue my service, but appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Yeah, you can come up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn Gray. I'm not a candidate for the committee because I'm already on the committee, but I am here. And by the way, your choice is difficult. Lots of qualified people. I just want to say, I think Greg did a fantastic job this last year working with him. We had some very important and tough decisions to make. And through the subcommittee structure that we had, he led a great part of that. So I just want to recommend Greg. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Okay, council?
Mayor, though I have the computer set up, I think for efficiency's sake,
Yeah,
paper will be
Okay,
easier.
good.
So I'm gonna hand out paper.
yeah, I'm good with that. Old school's faster. Okay.
So I highlighted your column. If you could just mark which two you would like to appoint, then you can fold it in half and raise your hand.
My hand's up. Yeah.
Yeah. Ready? Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a real.
Okay. All right.
Well, this is another example of how fortunate we are, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
quality of applicants we get for
Yeah.
these various committees is incredible.
Yeah.
So thank you all for applying.
Go ahead.
So we do have a majority vote. Steve Brown, congratulations on unanimously being selected. Greg Meck, you have been selected to be reappointed 3-2. 2 voted for Ryan Miller. So Councilmember Orgill and Councilmember Weiss voted for Ryan Miller. The other 3, Councilmember Whalen, Mayor Pro Tem Renagi, and Mayor Kemp voted for Greg Meck. So again, our 2 are Steve Brown, Greg Meck.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to say, thank you for your service. And Ryan, I want to see, it's kind of weird, but I want to see if we could have coffee to talk about lean. Yeah, I want to talk about your background. And I know all about Danaher and their lean because I worked for, my chief competitor when I was running this last company was Marion Technologies, and in the dosimetry space, Danaher just kind of killed us. But anyway, okay, so we'll get in touch. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, next up, we have interviews and appointments to the Environmental Sustainability Committee. We have one resident opening and we have 5 applicants.
Would you like to call them up alphabetically, Mayor?
Yeah,
So Mary Clifford, if you want to come up and say word.
Good afternoon. It's nice to be here, and this will be my first time serving on a committee where I to be selected, so thank you. Just want to start out my career. I started out with selling technology to some of the biggest polluters in the world. And what we did was provided technology to mitigate any type of accident that causes things such as what happened in Huntington Beach a couple of years ago. So oil and gas companies, things like that. And what that did was essentially, when I retired, decided that that's where I wanted to focus much of my time on how can we make this better for basically our younger people and the younger generations, because that is where it's really going to hit the hardest. And I think I see a lot of hope that's not there, and I want to try to help bring that hope back. And so what I'm currently doing is working with an organization called the Citizens Climate Lobby. And what we do is lobby for legislation to help create legislation that really has an effect on getting big issues and big solutions at both the local and the federal level to make changes to what we do. So for example, one of them is to put a carbon tax on large companies, a carbon fee and dividend tax. And so what we have, we go to Washington once a year, and I think lobbying the politicians and things like that is a major way to get things done. The second thing I'm a big proponent on is the education side of things. So the only way we're going to make change is to take and change personal behavior, my behavior, your behavior. And the way to do that is to reach out to the community, whether it be individuals, whether it be organizations, municipalities, whatever, to actually educate on what we can do on a day-to-day basis. And so, for example, I organized the home electrification fair with Tom and Ginger Osborne of CCL last week, the week before. And what that did was it brought residents in the community together to look at solutions to electrify in ways that they never thought of before. And so it's really much of a get people at the bottom level, if you will, to make change. And I think that's really important in any type of environment, whether you're working in a big company, whether you're just out there on the ground floor. And that's really where I kind of have my strengths is I like to work at the ground floor level and kind of work from a bottom up and make change. So I would like to work on the committee, and thank you very much.
hey, thanks, Mary.
Is Aaron Fay here? Come on up, Aaron.
Hi, thanks for this opportunity. My background is in law and business. I am an attorney, a consultant, and an entrepreneur. For the first decade of my career, I served as a federal and state prosecutor. I now serve as the chief operating officer of multiple startups and small businesses. I provide strategy, operations, and technology support and leadership to mission-driven companies. Since moving to Laguna Beach, I've become deeply connected to the environment, especially our ocean and beaches. Each day I swim in the open water and experience the glory of snorkeling, kayaking, and swimming with our marine life. It's through this experience that I found immense joy, happiness, and stress relief. As you can imagine, being an attorney and a consultant can be pretty stressful. It is through this experience that I really want to give back, and I feel compelled to apply for this committee. What I can promise you is that I'll bring my experience and abilities from conducting extensive research, compiling and analyzing large amounts of data, and providing recommendations to government and businesses to this position. I can guarantee that I do not have an agenda. I will bring an unbiased, fair, and open-minded approach to the committee. I will serve on this committee, providing my experience and abilities, and I'd like to offer my time and energy to this effort. Laguna Beach is an amazing place. I've traveled around the world and I've lived in a variety of places. It was always my dream to live in California at the beach, and now I'm living my dream. It's actually just amazing to be speaking to all of you and sharing something so heartfelt for me. But what I wanted to say is that our ecosystem is so precious and it needs to be protected at all costs. I went to the Rivian World Ocean Day event the other day, and it's just remarkable the leaders that we have in this town and the effort that has been made to restore the kelp and to protect our environment. It's sometimes overwhelming to think about the environment and how we can make a difference, but I strongly believe that it's at the local level that we can make the most impact. And I've experienced that at the state and federal level. It's really our individual choices and decisions that impact our environment and our location. In the environmental world, it's understood that the decisions that we make in the next 10 years will affect the next 10,000. And that's why I think it's crucial at this time to select people to the environmental committee that have this in mind. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Erin. Paul Manina? Not seeing Paul. Les, come on up.
Good afternoon, Council. Les McClosey, top of the world. As I understood the question, you wanted to know why we were signing up for the Environmental Committee. My record is pretty much out there. For the last 15 years, I've been a mobility advocate in this town, and I've been told I'm an outlier and it's time for you to sign up. So I'm signing up to this position, and I hope to find your vote. And I've considered some of the other committees, but I believe this is the one that may have more out-of-the-box thinking possibilities. I think the parking and traffic, they're still stuck in 1940 and can't get out. So this is the place to be, Environmental Committee. And I look for your vote. I hope I touched all your questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Les.
And Laura said she was unable to attend.
Okay. You gonna bring us our hanging chads?
I guess we can close these.
The world's stupidest thing.
I know. We actually do have a majority, so congratulations, Mary Clifford. We have Councilmember Whalen, Mayor Pro Tem Renagi, and Mayor Sue Kempf that voted for Mary Clifford. Erin Fay, you got the vote of Councilmember Origo. Les, you got the vote of Councilmember Weiss. So Mary is on the committee.
Thank you, everyone, and congratulations, Mary. Okay, we are going into closed session and we can't start closed session until 4:00, according to our city attorney. But should I talk about what's going to be on the agenda or should I have to wait till 4:00? Okay. All right, so we got a break. Okay.